My brothers and sisters in Christ, what is pressuring you to compromise? In today's first reading, we hear the story of a man who is faced with compromising against his faith, against his values, to avoid death by pretending to change what he believes in, to offer false worship in order to avoid death. And we see that quickly those who are even sympathetic to him, who try to get him, they're not disselling. They don't ask him to forsake God. They ask him just to pretend to eat the abominable meat. Just to pretend, even if he doesn't eat it. That way people will think he did and he'll be okay and be spared. And when he doesn't, those who are friendly to his cause quickly turn hostile. Why? Because it points out their own hypocrisy. And so the question that this reading is meant to call up for us is a question of what is constantly tempting us to compromise. Compromise is a word that we often don't think of as a bad thing, and often it isn't. We're called to compromise when there's disputes between people, when there's negotiations, when each person tries to give an inch to find a middle meeting ground. There are forms of compromise that are good, but there are other forms of compromise that ask us to forsake, to change, or to yield from what is right, or what is true to God, true to ourself. And these are always the temptations that lead us down the slippery path of sin. And so the first reading invites us to call to mind, where is that temptation coming in life right now? And the reason I say where is it's not a matter of if it's present. It's always present. It comes in many forms, some large, some small, some obvious, some very subtle and insidious. It's constantly there because it's the primary tactic of the enemy, to see if we'll yield an inch here and there, to give. Because through these small yielding of an inch here and there, small betrayals to ourselves or to God or from what is right, one day we can wake up and wonder how we got so far from where we started. This is the slippery slope. The enemy doesn't start by asking you to do evil or to forsake God, but to yield an inch here and there. And so the story of this courageous man in the first reading asks us to think, where is that temptation present in my life right now? Who or what? A person, a situation, society as a whole. What is asking me to compromise against what is right or what I know to be true to God or true to myself? If I don't know, I need to pray with that, because that means I'm not aware that that temptation is being pressed upon me, and perhaps I'm not even aware that I'm responding in a negative way. But where is that temptation? Where is God calling me to stand steady? In contrast, we hear in the gospel passage the story of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, who already is on the wrong path. He's corrupt. He's a cheat. He takes the money that doesn't belong to him. He gets rich off of others. And yet, when the invitation of Christ comes, he responds in wholeness of heart, not to saying yes to God, but recognizing what he's done, forsaking the error of his previous ways, and embracing the salvation of God. And this is why Jesus can say to him, today salvation has come to this house, even as the self-proclaimed righteous ones look on in horror on how Jesus can embrace this man. Zacchaeus responds to the invitation of grace, and so must we. My brothers and sisters, we need to recognize where we're being asked to compromise so that we may avoid that temptation. And in places where we've perhaps already yielded, already compromised, the invitation of God's mercy comes anew to say, turn back. Go back to what is right. Go back what is true to me and true to yourself. May God bless you all.